And I asked her, I said, what is that? And she says, I served in the Army as an Army nurse in World War II. That circled man is the man I fell in love with and married. She said, I was the nurse when the surgeon removed his legs. And she went on to tell me a great story about a remarkable woman. And I came back and wrote it, and thank goodness Ken edited it. And I swear it still touches me to this day. He was right. There's a story in everyone. It's our job as journalists, whether community or wherever, to find that story and report it. I've had a lot of help along the way. My bosses, Wayne Chancey and Harold Herring, at the Dothan Progress, embedded that same philosophy in me. I carried that to the Dothan Eagle, where Mr. Rufus Josie, the publisher, allowed me the freedom to follow that advice. They also taught me to be fair and thorough with all schools, not putting one above the other. I also carried it to the Birmingham News, where great influences like Wayne Hester, Tom Skerritt, Tom Ehrenberg, Alf Van Hoos, Clyde Bolton, Neil Sims, Jimmy Bryan, Charles Hollis, Wayne Martin, I could go on and on. They showed me how to do my job even better. I'll never forget one summer, the first summer I was working at the Birmingham News in 1984, excuse me, it was 85 because I went to work right on my birthday. And they told me, Neil Sims said, well, you know you get your birthday off for a holiday. And I said, today's my birthday. He says, well, I guess you need to go on home. So I did. And I worked for 24 more years and never got my birthday off again because it came in the first week of football season. But anyhow, the phone rang one day, and Alf Van Hoos, who was so special, he was from this great big city of Cuba, Alabama. And he had this gold phone on his desk with his name on it. I'd never seen one like that. In fact, I grew up in my house. We didn't even get a telephone until I was a senior. And I picked up, the phone rang. I was the only one there, and this guy said, I need to speak to Alf. Where is he at? And I said, well, I don't know where he is, sir. He says, well, tell him that Bob is waiting at the airport for him. And I said, well, Bob, can you tell me your last name? He said, yes, Hope, Bob Hope. And I said, are you the real Bob Hope? He said, I have been most of my life. And he says, we're going fishing down to Cuba, and I'm waiting on him. And so I walked in about that time, and I just couldn't believe I had just talked to Bob Hope. I also want to thank two other people. John Pruitt, thank you for nominating me for this award, and also for David Housel, who helped me get my job at the Birmingham News while we were sitting in a boat on a lake over near Lake Martin. And he said, you know, I think you could take that job, you could get that job. He says, if you want me to recommend you. And I said, well, I would love it. He says, well, I already have, and they're waiting to see you next week. I was fortunate to work with the Birmingham News intern program for 25 years, where I got to share the philosophy that was taught to me with more than 100 aspiring sports writers and many more correspondents. Those sports writers are scattered all over the country. One of my favorites was my first, Kevin Skorbinski, who's one of the greatest columnists in this state. I wish I could take credit for his abilities, but he was fantastic from day one. Now with my role at the Alabama High School Athletic Association, I still have a hand, I hope, in helping shape our community sports coverage, sharing that same philosophy with writers and broadcasters each day. I can honestly say this has been a labor of love. This honor you bestow is one I will share with all of those who guided me. I also share it with the folks in the many small towns across the state that have made me feel appreciated all these years. I thank all of you for having such a positive impact on my life, and I'm thankful I have had a chance to have my work mounted on some of the greatest billboards imaginable, a family refrigerator and Little Johnny's scrapbook. Thank you.